Hi everyone, I hope everyone's doing good. Today I have a small little project, a very small video. Today I'm going to show you guys how I make chopsticks. So chopsticks are a really fun way to reuse offcuts. So little pieces that come off of various cutoffs, especially when they're long. It's very easy to make money off of those little cutoffs. You just have to take the time to do it. Now the problem with chopsticks is that they're an item that you can't really turn. You can, but it's hard because of the fact that when you get something that's very long and thin, which chopsticks need to be, the thinner you get, the more flex you're going to have in the wood. And it gets really, really hard to batch these out on the lathe to get them as thin as they're supposed to be. So what I tend to do is only cut out 5 by 5 millimeter squares and then just on the lathe sand them off with some sanding paper. So I always make these as batches. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 31 pairs. So 62 individual chopsticks to make. I batch them out, so I have a bunch of them for various purposes. I make them very long, or I make them quite small. These can go with a little ramen bowl, 4 inches, and the bigger ones go for all general purpose use. So I'm going to make as many as I can. Well, I'm going to make all of these, and that's going to set me up for my next couple of sales. So I always recommend batch work. It just makes the whole process a little bit easier. You do one thing, you get good at that thing, then you move on, then you come back. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. All right, so for chopsticks, I've turned a bunch of them. What I do is I simply sand them on this disc. So this used to be an old disc I turned off my filtration system. This used to be an old sanding pad, but the foam that went behind here broke. So now it's just an 180 grit. Why 180 grit and not other grits? It's because, as I said, I'm turning 62 of these, and sanding each one of them, you kind of don't want to sand them multiple times. So you want a grit that will take off material quickly, but also a grit that will kind of leave the surface finished. So let's just see. So this one, as you can see, sometimes I cut the slabs, and you can see that one's broken. So that one will still make a nice chopstick, but not as long as that. So what you want to do is then pair them all up by 2. All right, so I have no other one that's that small, so this one is going to come down in size. But I can do that on the sander, so there's no problem to that. So let's get to it. So just turn that on, maximum speed. That's going to be the end. So I just want to transform this into a point. So now that's kind of a point. Once it's into a point, I want to just stick it into my hip and just rotate. I want to get a nice, spear in a certain sense. Now my spear is going to be about this long. I don't want to make the whole thing round. There's no point to that. That just takes up time. So just make the end nice and cone shape. And then just sand off all the edges. Now I want to make the edges round. Blend the curves together, the curve and the straight sides together. Pretty good. That side left, and then that's it. One chopstick. Actually, I can stand there. And there got one chopstick. This is made of apple, so let's make the other one. So that's going to be the point. Stick that in. Okay. I'm going to have to make this one shorter to fit the other one, so they're both the same size. But I can do that at the end. I prefer making these on the lathe. I just find that it's a little bit quicker and it's a little bit safer than doing it on a belt sander. You can do it on a belt sander if that's what you prefer. But I find that with this little setup, with this little sanding pad, makes it quite efficient and quite safe compared to a big belt sander. So, I'm going to do that, that. The only thing is it does eat up these sanding pads. So I've gone through about 5 already. But it's worth it. Now that's done. Now let's size them up. Okay, so pretty big. There's a knot here. So actually just break that off. And that should be good. There we go. A pair of chopsticks. Boop, 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 boop. So as you can see, these are a very fun project to make. They're very fast to do. It just gets redundant and long, but it's a great way to reuse scrap, and it elevates whatever you make. There's various ways of making them. You can make them out of various types of wood. Now these are apple. I made longer ones out of cherry. So it really depends on how long you want to make them, or how many you want to make. But they're a very great saver for wood. So you can reuse a lot of your wood and get more money out of each log that you actually turn. I think that they're a great idea, and anyone wants chopsticks. So hope you enjoyed the video. As always, happy turning, and we'll see you next time.